In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a rainbow loom Hanukkah menorah. So what you'll need is one loom, and you want to have it set up in a rectangular shape so that all the pins are in line with one another. And you want to have your small blue connector pieces moved all the way to the ends of the loom and have the whole center open. You're going to need either gold or yellow for the menorah itself, and then any color that you want for the candles. You can use white or blue or really a multicolor or anything you'd like. You'll need orange or yellow or even red for a flame. And then you will also need some pipe cleaners. So I'm going to make white candles. So what I've done is I've taken a white pipe cleaner and I've cut 9 sections of this to about 1.5 inches. And then you'll also need another pipe cleaner. I have a yellow one that's going to go inside of the menorah. So for the base of the menorah, we're going to be using the 5 center pins. So if you want to start on the very left side of your loom, and if you count over to the 5th pin, that's the one we're going to start on. So you want to take your first band, which is going to be either gold or yellow, or whatever color you've chosen, and you want to find that 5th pin in from the left. And what we're going to do is we're going to stretch the band up and diagonally to the right. And normally I would twist that, but I'm going to go around again and twist it a second time, which makes it a little harder to get on. And you don't have to twist it around twice, but it'll make it look tighter at the base, and it'll look a little bit nicer just for the bottom row. So now from here we're going to move down and diagonally to the right, and again I'm going to twist it around 2 times and then get it on. Like I said, it's harder to get on, but I think it looks nicer. Now from here we're going to move up and diagonally to the right again. So I'm going to put on this band and twist it around and push down. And then we're going to be going from here down diagonally to the right, doing the same thing. Twist it around 2 times and then put it on. So now we have gone the length of 5 pins. So what we want to do is go to this top right pin, and we're going to just zigzag our way back down over top of everything that we had just put on. So again, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to twist this around. And then I'm going to go from here up diagonally to the left. So I'm going to put the band on, and again I'm going to twist it around twice. And now I'm going to come back down diagonally to the left. And then finally I'm going to go back up diagonally to the left and twist it around. So that is what the very bottom row will look like. And you want to push all this down to make sure you have room to add your next layer. And so now we're going to do the very same thing, only this time we're not going to twist or anything. So start at the bottom left, go up and diagonally to the right, and then come back down diagonally. Go up again, and then back down. And now we're going to start at the top and zigzag our way, crossing over everything that we just put on. And you want to keep pushing it down. And then back to the start. So now there are 2 layers on. So if you look at the sides of the pins, you can see that there are 2 bands on the end pins, and there's going to be 4 bands on the center pins. So we're going to remove the bottom layer, and what we want to do is remove just one from the end pin since there's only 2 bands on, and then from all the center pins we're going to remove 2 bands. And then just go up to the next one and remove 2. We're just going to work our way up the side. And now that I'm at the end, I'm just going to remove 1. And then flip to the other side and do the same thing. Just remove 1 band from the end, and then 2 from all of the center pins. Just working our way back down to the start. And then just 1 from the end. Now we want to push all of that down, and we're going to add another layer the same way, starting at the left. So I'm just going to zigzag my way up. And then when I get to the top, zigzag my way back down, crossing over everything that we just put on. And then we want to take the bottom layer off once again. So we're going to do just 1 from the ends, and then 2 from all of the center pins. Just working our way up the outside. And then 1 from the end. Go around to the other side. Again, 1 from the end. 2 from the centers. And then 1 from the end again. And then you want to again push all of this down. Now that was our 3rd layer, and we're going to do 5 in total. So I'm going to do 2 more layers using these same 5 pins, putting a layer on and then taking the bottom layer off. So I will fast forward through this part now. Now at this point you should have put on and taken off 5 layers using the length of 5 pins. And now what we want to do is move our bands in. So we're going to start at the left hand side with the bottom pin, and we're going to take our band, put it on the hook, leave it on, and stretch it up and diagonally to the right. And then take the top left band, get it on your hook, and put it down and diagonally to the right, just on the top of the pin. And then you want to take the very bottom band, just 1, and pull it over the top, and then go to the back side and do the same thing. Now we want to go to the other side and again move these bands in. So we'll take the top and move it down and diagonally to the left, and we'll take the bottom and move that up and diagonally to the left. And then you want to take again the bottom band and pull it over the top, and then do the same thing for the other side. So now we've narrowed down to the length of 3 pins, and now we want to string the next part. So we're going to be starting on the far left pin, But this time we're going to be stretching up and diagonally, but not to the next row, but to the second row. So it's going to be a long stretch. So it's going to go just like this. And then after that, we want to go from this top left pin and again stretch up and diagonal, but not to the next row, to the second row. So we're going to do a long stretch. And then after that, you're going to put one in the very center from front to back, back to front. And now we want to remove one from the bottom of each of the pins. So start at the bottom left, and we're going to just remove one. Again, we're just going to work our way up, flip to the other side, and just remove the bottom one. And push that down. Now we're going to put on a second layer in the same pattern. So start at the left, stretch up and diagonally to the second row over, then start at the top left and stretch down and diagonally to the second row over, and then one in the center, and again remove the very bottom layer out of each of these 6 pins. Go to the other side. Push that down. And now I'm going to do it again. So stretch up diagonally to the right, and then go from the top pin and stretch diagonally down over to the second row, and then one in the center, and then again remove the bottom from each one, bottom band, and do the same for the other side. And push that down. Now that was our third layer doing this pattern. I'm going to do 2 more layers. Now at this point you should have put on and taken off 5 layers using this pattern with a length of 3 pins, and now we want to expand it out. So we're going to start from the left hand side. You want to go over to the second pin, and we're still using the gold bands, and we're going to go up and diagonally and twist, and then we're going to just keep repeating the same pattern we started with. We're going to go down diagonally and twist, and then we're just going to keep zigzagging our way up and down. You need to twist because this is like another bottom layer, and then we're going to come back down and twist, and now we're going to go up and twist, and then back down and twist, and we're going to be doing this for the length of 11 pins. So we're just going to keep going and twisting. And then from here to here, this is stretching out to the 11th pin. And now we're going to just work our way back down. Again, zigzagging diagonally up and down and crossing over everything that we have just put on. And you want to make sure that the middle bands are pushed down so you have room to add your next bands. And we're just going to work our way back to the start. So we're basically using the whole loom except for the very end pins. And that's going to be our bottom layer. And now what we want to do is where we had the bands on the 3 center pins, we have to take the bottom 2 of each of those 6 pins off. So I'm going to start on the bottom left pin that has the bands underneath, and I'm going to just take the bottom 2 from all of these pins. I'm going to flip to the other side and take 2 off of these. And you want to push that down. And now what we're going to do is add another layer, starting with the far left, zigzagging our way up the length of 11 pins and then back down. I'll fast forward here. Now I want to take the bottom layer off, and once again the end pins are going to have 2 bands on, and all of these center pins are going to have 4 bands, and then back to the end it's going to have 2. So we're going to need to take 1 band off the bottom of each of the end pins and then 2 bands off for all of the center pins. So we're just going to work our way up the side. And we're going to be removing 2 from all of these center pins from the very bottom. And it's going to take a little while because we've used almost the whole length of the loom. And this is our second layer. We had put 2 layers on with a length of 11 pins, and we're going to be doing 4 layers in total. So we want 1 on the end and then 2 on all the middles. So we're going to be doing 4 layers like this with a length of 11 pins. And after I'm done this though, I'm going to add a pipe cleaner, and it's easy to do, and that's just going to help with keeping the menorah solid. So now we're back to the start. I just want to remove 1 band. And then you want to go push all of that down, and your menorah should be coming out the bottom by now. And now what we're going to do is add the pipe cleaner. So I have a yellow pipe cleaner, and it's really not the same color as the gold, but it won't matter because you won't be able to see it at the end. And so what we're going to do is just put it right there, lay it on top, and then all I'm going to do is just string another layer of bands on top of this. So I'm going to start at the far left and just go right over top in the zigzag pattern. So as I said before, the pipe cleaner is just going to help to give your menorah support because the base is so skinny and the candles stretch out so much further. So if you don't have this in, it's going to just, gravity is going to pull it down. So now we've reached the top, and I'm just going to zigzag my way back and forth to the start again. So now again I'm going to take the bottom layer off. So I'm going to take just one from the end and then two from the centers. And I'm going to fast forward here again just because the video is going to get too long if I don't. We're going to do the whole length of 11 pins, zigzagging up and down to the top and then back again, and then I'll take the bottom layer off and I will fast forward through this. So you want to again push all of this down, and then what you're going to do is we want to move the bands from the two end pins on either side in one. So we're going to take the bottom left band, get it on the hook, move it in and up diagonally and just put it on the top of that pin, and then take the one from the top, get that on your hook and move it down and diagonally, and now take the bottom band from both sides and pull it out and over the top. Now we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. Take the one from the bottom and go up and diagonally, and then the one from the top, pull that down and diagonally to the left, and then grab the bottom band from both sides and pull it over the top. And so now we're dealing with the length of 9 pins, and these are going to be where our 9 candles go. So what you want to do next is take another gold band and put it on your hook, and then you want to wrap it around a second time. So we're going to double this band, and we're going to place it from front to back on this very end set of pins. So it's going to come forward, and I'm going to twist also. And I want to do that for all of the length of 9 pins. So again, I'm going to put a gold band on the hook and twist, and then go to the next one over, put it on the back, twist, and pull it forward. So I'm going to do this, as I said, for all of the 9 sets of pins. Just working our way up. Sometimes it can be a little tricky to get these on, and they're definitely going to be tighter, but that's what we want. We want it to be tighter so that the candles will be able to stand up better. So it's definitely going to take you a while to make this because it's so long and there's a lot of steps involved. But I think in the end it comes out really cool and it's worth it. So I'm at the last one here. So I'm pulling this forward and twisting. And now I'm going to go back to the left-hand side, and what I'm going to do is take off the bottom 2 bands from every pin. So I'm just going to work my way up. Then go to the other side and remove 2 from each of these pins. And then back to the start. Now I'm going to switch to white for the candles, and I'm going to do the same thing for this layer. I'm going to wrap it around my hook 2 times, start at the far left, and I'm going to go from back to front and twist. And I'm going to do that for all of the length of 9 pins, so I'll fast forward that. Now the next thing I want to do is add another layer of white, and again I'm going to double these bands, but this time I'm not going to twist, so I'm just going to put it from back to front, and again twist. I'm going to just work my way up the length of the 9 pins, adding this next white. And now what I want to do is take that bottom layer of gold bands off, and these, if you recall, were doubled, so I'm going to grab the 2 bands at once and pull it over the top. I'm going to do that for the whole length of the 9 pins. Just work my way up, and these are going to be a little bit tighter to get off since it's doubled bands. They're definitely going to be harder to do. Can feel that they're a lot tighter. And then at the top we want to go to the other side, and again we want to remove the bottom 2 gold bands at the same time from all of the pins. And then we're back to the start. And then you want to push all of these down. So take a minute and just push all of these down. And they're a little bit hard to push because the bands are all doubled, so they're tighter on the pins. So the next thing you want to do is take your pipe cleaners that you have cut into 1.5 inch pieces, and we're going to start at the far left, and you want to put it down in the center. Try to get it in the middle of the white bands. And then you want to take a single white rubber band, and you're going to have to put it down over top of the pipe cleaner and then put it on both sides. And then we're going to take our next pipe cleaner, and again we want to get it to be in the center. So what you can do is you can take your hook and try to move the yellow or gold bands to the side and try to make a little hole with your hook to where you want your pipe cleaner to go. And then go ahead and put it in. You have to push it down a little bit till you feel like it's a little bit secure in there. And then take another white band, go over the top of the pipe cleaner and hook it on both sides of the pins. And we're going to do this for every single one. So try to make like a hole with your hook. And then take your next pipe cleaner and put it in. And then add a band. Move on to the next. Again, try and make like a hole in the center. And then put in your pipe cleaner. Move up to the next set of pins and try to make a space in the center. And then put your next pipe cleaner in. And then put on your band. Again, we're just going to do this for every one. And then add a band. Now we have 2 more left. And then add the next band. And then 1 more. Add your pipe cleaner. And then a band. And now I'm going to go back to the start, and I'm going to take the very bottom 2 bands off. These again were doubled bands, so you want to grab 2 at once. And we're going to just work our way up the side. Always grabbing the 2 at once. Sometimes they're a little tricky to get a hold of because again they are tighter. And then do the same on the other side. Grab the bottom 2. Just work your way back to the start. And then again, you want to push all of this down. And again, they're pretty tight to push down because you still have a doubled band on here. And now what we're going to do is keep adding layers of white, adding 1 and then taking off the bottom. I'm going to do 10 layers in total. We already did 1, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a white band. It's going to have to go over the pipe cleaner and over the 2 pins, and then we're going to remove the bottom layer. So I'm going to do that 9 more times. When you remove this next bottom layer, you still have the very bottom bands are doubled, so you still want to take the bottom 2 as you remove this layer. But then after this, all the next layers that we put on are only going to be single bands being removed. Now at this point you should have put on and taken off 10 layers of white bands for the candles, and what we want to do now is take the menorah off of the loom. So I'm going to start on the far left. I'm going to pick up the bands. There should be 2 bands on every pin right now. Hold them on my hook, come around to the second set, pick them up. So now I should have 4 total white bands, or whatever color you're working with, on your hook. And you want to take your band for the flame, so I have orange. I'm going to loop the orange through all 4 of the white bands. And then what I'm going to do is put my hook through the other side of the orange band, and then loop one through the other, and then pull. And you have to pull pretty tight to make a knot. And I'm going to go to the next one and do the same thing. Get the 2 bands from the front pin on, go down through the back 2 bands, get them all 4 on the hook, take an orange band and loop it through all 4, and then keep hold of it, don't let it go. Put your hook back through and then loop one through the other, and then pull it tight. And then on to the next. Grab the next 2, go down through the pin behind it so you have all 4. Take your orange band and you want to loop it through all 4 white bands. And then get it back on the other side of the orange and loop one through the other. Okay, we're going to do it again. Get all 4 bands on. Get the orange band to go through all 4 white. Then put it back on again. Do one through the other and pull tight. Now what you can do is take your menorah off of your loom. You can just pull it down through. And you can see that if it needs any adjustments, you can straighten out the candles. Make sure that all of the pipe cleaners are hidden inside. If there are any that are a little bit too long at the top, you can either try and hide them inside the bands, or if they're really long, you can just cut them with scissors. You can see this one was sort of sticking out the bottom, so I'm going to work it in. And then also you can see that it's a little bit wide, and you can see the yellow pipe cleaner through, so what you want to do is just move it in to cover that up. Everything should just shift right in. You can look on the other side and make sure everything's covered. And if it looks like the fishtail is a little bit spread apart, you can just try and get that squeezed together. And then the last thing that you want to do is cut the pipe cleaner from the ends. Just be careful not to cut any of your rubber bands. And then here is your menorah. And then I've also made one, the first one that I ever made, I used blue candles, so here's what that one looks like.